On a cold October night in 1902, a ship set sail and was never seen again. What happened next is a tale that defies explanation. A cargo ship named the Wellington set sail across the icy waters of Lake Michigan. Its crew of 16 men was eager to complete a routine shipment of coal. But somewhere in the frigid depths of the lake, the ship and its crew vanished without a trace. At the turn of the 20th century, the Great Lakes were the lifeline of America's industrial revolution. Massive freighters crisscrossed the lakes daily, carrying coal, lumber, iron ore, and other vital resources. The Wellington, a steel-hulled, 220-foot-long freighter built for efficiency. Though not the largest vessel on the lakes, it was considered reliable and well-built, manned by a seasoned crew. The captain of the Wellington, Charles Renard, was a stoic man with over 2 decades of experience navigating the treacherous waters of the Great Lakes. His crew trusted him implicitly. One October night in 1902, the cargo ship, the Wellington, vanished mysteriously into the icy depths of Lake Michigan, leaving behind unanswered questions and a haunting legend that spanned decades, culminating in ghostly sightings and eerie discoveries that suggest it may have encountered forces beyond comprehension. It was late October, and the winds had already begun to shift. Storms were common this time of year, often catching ships off guard. But Captain Renard was confident. The journey from Milwaukee to Traverse City was routine, and the ship was built to withstand rough weather. On the morning of October 28th, the crew loaded the Wellington with coal and set out under gray skies. Witnesses at the Milwaukee dock reported nothing unusual. No engine issues, no signs of unease among the crew. By early afternoon, the ship had disappeared beyond the horizon, heading into deeper waters. Later that night, a fierce storm rolled in over Lake Michigan. Winds gusted at nearly 50 miles per hour, and waves reached heights of 20 feet, crashing violently against any vessel caught in its path. Several ships were damaged in the storm, but most managed to reach safe harbor, except for the Wellington. When the storm subsided, radio operators in nearby ports tried to contact Captain Renard, but there was no response. By morning, search parties were dispatched. They combed the lake for days, finding no sign of the ship, no debris, no lifeboats, no bodies. It was as if the Wellington and its crew had vanished into thin air. The official investigation concluded that the ship had likely capsized in the storm, sinking rapidly with all hands aboard. But privately, many seasoned sailors doubted this explanation. Ships as sturdy as the Wellington rarely went down without a trace, even in severe storms. There should have been floating debris, wooden lifeboats, barrels, or coal spilled across the surface of the water. But the lake was eerily silent. The families of the 16 crew members were devastated. They held memorial services, but without bodies to bury, many struggled to find closure. Over the years, the tragedy faded into memory, becoming just another chapter in the Great Lakes' long history of shipwrecks. But this wasn't the end of the Wellington story. Nearly 20 years later, in 1922, rumors began to circulate among fishermen in the area. Late at night, under certain moonlit conditions, they claimed to see a ghostly ship sailing across Lake Michigan. It looked ancient and battered, with tattered sails and a faint glow surrounding its hull. It was often spotted near the same route the Wellington had taken before it disappeared. At first, these sightings were dismissed as folklore, or tricks of the imagination. But over time, the reports became harder to ignore. Entire fishing crews claimed to have seen the phantom vessel. Some even swore they heard faint voices calling out across the water, pleas for help that dissolved into the wind. In 1957, a team of amateur divers decided to investigate the legend. Equipped with early scuba technology, they combed the depths of Lake Michigan in search of the Wellington's wreckage. After weeks of searching, they found what they believed to be the ship. It was remarkably intact, sitting upright on the lake bed, as though it had been gently placed there. But the discovery only deepened the mystery. When the divers explored the interior, they found no human remains, no signs of struggle, and no personal belongings. The ship's engine was in perfect condition, and the cargo of coal was untouched. It was as if the crew had simply vanished, leaving the ship behind. More unsettling were the markings found on the walls of the ship's cargo hold. The divers reported seeing strange symbols etched into the steel, symbols that didn't match any known language or maritime markings. One diver, a man named Paul Stenson, claimed he felt an overwhelming sense of dread while inside the wreck. He described hearing faint whispers, though his radio was turned off. Stenson refused to dive again, citing the experience as too disturbing. The symbols were later photographed and sent to experts for analysis, but no one could determine their origin. Some speculated they were the desperate carvings of the crew before their demise. Others believed they were something else entirely, evidence of an encounter with the unknown. In 1987, nearly 85 years after the Wellington's disappearance, a chilling piece of evidence emerged. A radio enthusiast in Chicago purchased an old ham radio at an estate sale. While testing the device, he claimed to pick up a faint, static-filled transmission. At first, he dismissed it as interference, but as he adjusted the frequency, he heard something that made his blood run cold. The transmission was a man's voice, speaking in a panicked tone. The message was brief and fragmented, but the words were unmistakable. "This is Captain Rennert of the Wellington. We're taking on water. Can't see the shore. Something's coming. The transmission ended abruptly. The enthusiast, shaken, recorded the incident and shared it with experts. However, they were unable to verify its authenticity. The case of the Wellington has sparked countless theories over the years. Here are a few of the most intriguing. A natural vortex. Some researchers believe the Wellington may have fallen victim to a natural phenomenon similar to the Bermuda Triangle. Certain areas of the Great Lakes are known for sudden, violent storms and strange magnetic anomalies. Could the ship have been pulled into a vortex, trapping it and its crew in another plane of existence? Supernatural intervention. Others point to the ghostly sightings and mysterious symbols as evidence of a supernatural force. Was the crew taken by something beyond human understanding? And if so, what was the purpose of the markings left behind? 3. Government experiment gone wrong. A fringe theory suggests that the Wellington was caught in an early military experiment, such as electromagnetic field testing. Proponents of this theory claim the markings resemble coded symbols used in classified operations. 4. Time slip. Some believe the ship and its crew entered a time slip, a rift in the fabric of reality that displaced them to another era or dimension. This would explain the phantom sightings and the eerie distress call decades later. To this day, the mystery of the Wellington remains unsolved. Its wreck sits silently at the bottom of Lake Michigan, a testament to one of the Great Lakes' strangest disappearances. Was it a tragic accident, or did the crew encounter something truly extraordinary? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The Wellington story continues to haunt the waters of Lake Michigan, a chilling reminder of how little we truly understand about the forces that shape our world. And that's another strange, dark, and mysterious tale. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more haunting content. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and watch the waters.